All right, let's talk about something you probably don't think about every day. There's this invisible war being fought constantly, all around us. But it's not on a battlefield with soldiers. It's fought with spreadsheets, in bank accounts. We're talking about the massive global effort to stop criminals and terrorists from using our own financial system against us. So today, we're going to look at how this financial fortress is built. I mean, it sounds like a riddle, right? But it's a dead serious question for security experts all over the world. How do you actually intercept the money that's buying the bomb parts, paying the operatives, and funding the networks that want to cause incredible harm? Well, the answer is in this complex web of rules designed to make the whole financial system a very, very hostile place for the bad guys. And the main architect behind these rules is this group, the Financial Action Task Force, or FATF. You can think of them as the world's financial watchdog. They're the ones writing the rulebook for more than 200 countries on exactly how to protect their banks and financial institutions from being misused. They set the standards that pretty much everyone is expected to play by. So how does this rulebook actually work? Well, you can kind of think of it in two parts. First up, there's the offense. This is what we're calling the spear. It's all about going on the attack, proactively targeting known threats and stopping them cold. Now, this spear is really aimed at two major threats. On one side, you have terrorism financing. That's the money that keeps extremist groups and their attacks going. But on the other side, you have something a bit more subtle, proliferation financing. This is the cash that's used to build and sell weapons of mass destruction, and it's often buried deep inside what look like totally legitimate business deals. Okay, so how do you actually choke off that supply of money? The number one weapon here is targeted financial sanctions, and it's a process that happens at lightning speed. Step one, banks are constantly automatically screening every single transaction against official sanction lists like the ones from the UN. If their system gets a hit, boom, step two kicks in. The assets are frozen. And that phrase, without delay, is absolutely critical. We're talking instantly. Only then does the investigation really begin. And this is where the rubber really meets the road. It's not some abstract idea. A bank's computer flags a name. That name matches an entity on a UN list. And before a human can even grab a cup of coffee to look at it, that account is completely locked down. The supply line is cut, just like that. But, a good offense isn't enough. Any good fortress needs a powerful shield, too. This is the defensive game plan, strengthening the whole system from the inside out by guarding its weakest points. And we're going to start with a group that might surprise you. We're talking about nonprofit organizations, charities, aid groups. They do incredible, life-saving work all over the globe. But the very things that make them so effective, the fact they work across borders, use cash, and rely on public trust, are the exact things that can make them a target for terrorist groups looking for a way to move money under the radar. So this creates a really tricky balancing act, doesn't it? How do you protect these organizations without completely tying their hands and stopping them from doing their job? Well, the FATF's approach isn't about treating every single charity like a suspect. Instead, it's all about promoting transparency, making sure they have good controls, and most importantly, using a risk-based approach. That just means you look closer only when there are actual red flags. Okay, let's keep building on that shield. Now we're going to get into the second part of our defense, and this one is all about tackling something that criminals absolutely thrive on. And that is secrecy. It's pretty simple, really. Criminals operate in the dark. And for a long time, strict bank secrecy laws, which were, originally designed to protect regular clients, they accidentally created the perfect hiding places for dirty money. So, what's the solution? You fight darkness with light. You fight secrecy with its exact opposite, transparency. The whole goal is to systematically tear down those walls that let crime grow in the shadows. And this whole massive effort to bring things into the light, it really all boils down to one single, core, non-negotiable principle. This is it. This is the big one. It's a core FATF recommendation. And what it says is that a country can't just throw up its hands and say, oh, sorry, we can't help you with that investigation because of our bank secrecy laws. Nope. There have to be legal ways for authorities to get the information they need to follow the money. End of story. So we've got the spear for offense and the shield for defense. But you know what? None of it, absolutely none of it works without the people on the front lines, the gatekeepers of the entire system. It's called customer due diligence, or CDD. And honestly, that's just a fancy way of saying know your customer. This is the mandatory process that every single bank has to follow to figure out who exactly they're letting through the door. It is the absolute first line of defense. And this isn't just about glancing at a driver's license. It goes so much deeper. Yes, you have to verify official ID, but the really crucial part, you have to identify the true beneficial owner, the actual human being who's pulling the strings and getting the money, even if they're hiding behind 5 layers of shell companies. You have to understand why they need the account, and it's not a one-and-done check. It's about ongoing monitoring, always watching for weird activity. And here's why all that detail matters so much. Because the global financial system is only as strong as its weakest link. A single bank that gets lazy with its checks doesn't just create a problem for itself, it creates a crack in the entire global fortress, an open door that puts the whole system at risk. So when you put it all together, the big takeaway is that this financial fortress isn't a project you just finish. It requires constant, relentless work. It demands that offensive spear, the sanctions that cut off the money, and that powerful defensive shield, the rules for transparency and knowing your customer that keep the walls strong. Which, of course, leaves us with one final huge question. These tools we've talked about are incredibly powerful. They have to be. But in this invisible war that's fought with data and surveillance, are we getting the balance right? The balance between keeping us all secure and protecting our fundamental right to privacy? That's definitely something we're thinking about.
Thank you for watching this lesson. If you found it helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more AML and compliance training. If you would like to earn an anti-money laundering certificate, please visit www.nasiacademy.ca. The first course is free and eligible for certification. I'll see you in the next lesson.